My fellow countrymen, as you all know, British people are prone to be late. And so... Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm late. It has been such a rough few weeks. I'm trying to restart my stream at 4 o'clock, which is an hour and 15 minutes before this, and it just never seems to work out. I'll either get called for a meeting or I have to drive from LA. Today it was raining and there were like 4 accidents on the freeway. I am so sorry. I love you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here, to be honest. How's everyone doing? Hey, how's it going, Raph? You're ready for this? I am very ready for this as well. Even when I don't try to be 20 minutes early, I'm sorry and no. I'm sorry. Hello, Randy. How's it going? It still says, look, okay, I don't always have time to set everything up perfectly. James cooks Hanafuda. Do you even know what? I am shocked you know what Hanafuda is. How's it going, Bowser? For those of you who don't know, Hanafuda is a type of Japanese playing card that has flowers on it, and you play a really weird game with it. I don't really understand the game, to be honest. Hello, Long Pikmin. Is orange called an orange because of the fruit, or is orange called an orange because it looks orange? I believe the fruit was named before the color. I'm not entirely sure about that. Raph says the color is named after the fruit, so that's 1 point for me. You're playing Baldur's Gate 3 with your siblings. Ooh, where are you? Are you going around killing innocent people? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You can thank Nintendo's history for making you aware of Hanafuda. Did Nintendo have Hanafuda? Huh. We're nearing the final fight with Iris. I know you mean Baldur's Gate, but... Alright, but... Okay, shut up, Britain. Not you, Britain, but British music. All right, let's play some Ace Attorney. My elbow has been in pain yet lately because I smashed my elbow against a table and I hit the funny bone, and it's been bothering me for the entire day. All right. Maybe don't do that in the future. You know, that is an excellent suggestion. Why didn't I think of that? Nintendo's first product was Hanafuda. Was it? I had no idea. Huh. A funny accident. It wasn't very funny to me. All right. So last time, if you guys remember... Well, first of all, last time, can you guys hear me? I mean, you guys can't hear me because you guys are responding to me. Last time, we were investigating the whereabouts of, what's his name? Barak von Zieks, who has been accused of killing, rest in peace, Tobias Griggs. No, I can't hear, get out, get out. Yeah, so, yeah, Tobias Gregson was, well, Barak has been accused of killing Tobias Gregson. We've been trying to figure out his whereabouts. We used this here to demonstrate that it was likely that since the door opens this way, this little screen here was actually right here, and thus when Barak entered the room where, Gregson was killed, he wouldn't have actually seen his body. We also know that there were candles over here, and I suspect there was... if you guys recall, there were candles here, and supposedly one of the candles blew up because a bullet went through it. I believe, now that I've thought about it a little bit more, I believe, like, if you guys remember, I originally said there's no way a bullet just coincidentally went through this candle and not the others. There must have been some sort of mechanism or some sort of intention that required the candle to go through this one. And the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to think, perhaps... If you guys remember, the Venus firecracker sounds like a gunshot. I wonder why they would tell me this. Yeah. Anyway, so I suspect maybe the candles themselves were actually, were actually some sort of mechanism. Like maybe there was a Rube Goldberg machine that was set up that allowed the firecrackers to go off and simulate a gunshot. Something like that. Yeah, but yeah. 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 Okay, yeah. So that's my theory. Also, I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful woman in my life. Look at Miss Venus right here. Oh my goodness. She's out here selling bombs to children like any beautiful woman would do. Why is she selling bombs to children? I'm from LA. Don't fault myself for being late in traffic. Thank you, Sams. Objection, Tsumugi Shirogane. Okay, you know what? Okay, Tsumugi is a goddess. She doesn't count among mortal women, okay? Actually, now that I realize it, Venus looks kind of super snarky here. She's like, the assassin committing Pythagoras. I'm telling you, there was some sort of Rube Goldberg machine that was set up to set off the firecrackers. Okay, now the mystery of the moving board. We are investigating whether or not the board was over here. She looks like she knows something about you and she won't tell you. Yeah, she does. Nobody realized that the ready for this? I know I am as a joke. Well, you need to choose a more obvious JoJo reference like dildo. Anyway. Oh, frick. I completely forgot his voice. Frick.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, he's British.
Or, I don't know anything about that notice board. I just...
Or, what you gonna do over there, governor?
I don't know anything about that notice board. I just want my hand on it, that's all.
There it is.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was just doing business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was the Reaper, I bet. He's got the face that screams bored. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when he heard the gunshot.
So, none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with the only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp I wish to see. Kazuma literally just finished arguing that he literally just finished arguing that there was enough light to see. And now he's like, I guess there wasn't enough light to see. Oh my god, Kazuma. Freaking flip-flopping, man. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yes. Don't pay to expect too much.
Kazuma's out here trying to update the autopsy report. He really must be the great-great-great-grandfather of Miles Edgeworth.
It's a man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really? In any case, as his testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. Kazuma the type to say he's not hungry and then steal your fries. Kazuma is exactly that type of expectant girlfriend. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could have possibly committed the crime is Barack Obama Van Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes this simple fact. Quite so. Quite so. If he shot, what's his name? If he shot Gregson, there should be a hole in the board. Come on, guys. Get with the times. Or get with the evidence.
Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness?
I love how the judge is always like, hey, we're about to announce a guilty verdict. You want to cross-examine the witness or not? It's okay. Almost like I said Obama Barack. What is Obama's last name? Get with the times, Kazuma. Most certainly, my lord.
Very well. You may proceed, counsel.
I do like the judge. This judge seems... I'm going to be honest. Now that I think about it, all the judges have generally been reasonably non-biased, at least compared to all the other characters. It's like they're usually just like silly old dudes who kind of like are suffering from memory loss, which questions whether or not they should even be judges. But Obama's last name is Care, of course. Operator, what's the number for 911? I don't know anything about the notice board. I just wiped your hand on it, that's all. I just had a crazy realization.
Hold it!
Oh, wait, wrong button. I was trying to bring up the... Oh, give me a moment. So you... Give me a moment. After I do this, I'll tell you my realization. So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on. Oh.
Admit? What's to admit? Is there plain as day for all to see a smashing print of my right hand?
Oh, hello. Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. Look. I gotta publish my genius theories, okay? I can't let you guys know everything. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you?
No. Imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man?
Well, did you see anybody else moving the board?
I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. Me bottom lip was given a quiver.
In other words, the witness is unable to give a definite testimony on the point. I just realized Kazuma's voice is actually Van Zeek's voice, just without the accent. So Kazuma talks like this, and Van Zeeks talks like this.
Yes, it would seem so.
Oh my god, how I wish I was that match, man. Oh my god. Sorry, what? Anyway. Gina happily scarfing down her first proper meal. Oh, don't make me sad. Okay, so it's time to peer review one of my theories, okay? So hear me out here. Wait, how do I go to profiles? Frick! I can't go to profiles. Okay, you're gonna have to be patient with me, okay? I can't go to profiles. Frick! Oh, maybe I can press them and then go to profiles. Okay. Okay, okay. She was doing business with some second year. She was selling bombs.
Hold it!
I think I can go to, yeah, profiles now. All right, hear me out here. Remember what was the very first thing I noticed about Evie Vigil? Or Evie? Or Eve Vigil. Do you remember what was the very, hey, how's it going, Nana? Do you guys remember the very first thing? Okay, besides the fact that she's incredibly gorgeous. Okay, the second thing I noticed about juror number 2. Okay. Still tired? I'm doing okay. Thanks, Nana. Like, the second thing I ever noticed was her hair was very curled, right? And I noticed that she was a good match with Daily Vigil because his hair was kind of like curled. Like, they have this themed thing going on of their curly hair, right? Right? And then if you go to their pictures, right? You kind of have his, you know, I even pointed out, like, how the heck did he like must spend hours curling his hair every morning, right? Is he her sister? They're married. So possibly. Wait, no, this isn't America. This isn't Alabama. Okay. Okay, and I noticed that, okay, her hair wasn't all that curled here, right? When she was younger and just got married, right? They styled their hair together, right? They may have styled their hair together, right? So here she is with kind of like curled hair, and here he is with kind of like curled hair, and they kind of have this couple goals thing. Now hear me out here. Just hear me out here. I'm just saying. I am just saying. I'm just saying. Hey, how's it going, Kioma? That if my man got socked in the mouth, I'm just saying. Oh, wait, their nose is kind of, okay, look. Imagine your Daily Vigil. And you're just walking along, and he's like, oh, hello, cheerio, fellows. How are you? Oh God! Oh my! Good gracious! Oh, tea with the queen! Oh. I'm just saying. Maybe it's their son. Like, I'm just saying. I feel like this guy is related to these two somehow. Maybe it's their son. Maybe it's their father. No, it's their father. No. I'm just saying that he he probably has some sort of relationship to them. I'm just saying. Curly hair, outwardly curly hair, outwardly curly hair, outwardly curly hair, outwardly curly hair. Incredibly beautiful. Okay. When you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yes. What else? There's a prairie school.
What's a priori school? I gotta look that up. Priori school. Not now. The Adventure of Priori School is one of the 56 Sherlock Holmes stories. Oh. Okay, so it's a Sherlock Holmes story. Iris villain.
There's a prairie school just round the corner, see?
Who's Sherlock Holmes? I don't know. Some imposter.
And Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to Kingdom Come.
I'm just gonna point out. Wait, hold on. In the 1900s, what level of school education? Very few students advanced beyond grade school. Only 11% of all children between ages 14 and 17 were even enrolled in high school. Oh, wow. So about 10% of children actually went to high school, which means the second year she's talking about are probably grade schoolers. Imagine if Daily were to place a bet on self-appointed justice prayer. Wait, Vigil's anti... God, get out. I read the entire thing for a pun. Oh my god.
So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. So I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them.
Oh my god, she sells fireworks to children and then tells the teachers, so the teachers have to buy the fireworks from her. Oh my god! This is quality business right here. Hashtag smart.
Then praise the Lord again. All the kids come back to buy more. Everyone's happy, see?
What a racket.
Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a bit all life, selling explosives.
Venus is a guileful goddess indeed.
CEO entrepreneur. Oh god! Oh yes!
Well, telling barefaced lies is my kind of thing.
Oh. I feel like Sandwich here is just out to, like, ruin the other two.
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich?
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Did Miss Venus's beautiful lips... And, oh, also the statement that passed through them. Just bring something to mind.
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. For example, why is it that children always live better lives than their parents? I thought walking to school was a good thing, but if they have to walk by the firecracker merchant, then why do they have to walk at all? Isn't it a bit dangerous for children?
Can you get to the point, sir?
Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said...
Oh my god, I just realized something that's really sad. Do you guys remember that Herlock Sholmes used the money from 2 spells to buy a new thing called a motor car? Do you guys remember that? You guys remember how we met the owner of the carriage company and now he was taking pictures at the hotel? I just put it together. They lost their jobs. I just put it together. That's why this guy's on the street. He's not doing carriage rides anymore. It's because they lost their jobs. Look, it's not as obvious as you guys might think, right? Because this game occurs in a vacuum. You just see these characters every once in a while. You don't actually see what's going on in the world. You just see, oh, this character popped up, and this character popped up, and then Herlock just happened to mention a motor car, and these are all like separate ideas in vacuums. You don't realize, like you have to actually kind of spend some time to piece the entire world together before you realize what's going on. So you're like, oh, well, obviously. I don't think it was that obvious. I just realized all the carriage people, they lost their jobs. Well, Beppo lost his job for ripping. Okay, well, maybe that too. But, but yeah. Sandwich, not Beppo. Completely different. Obviously, super different people, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it just occurred to me. It just occurred to me that they all lost their job. The dude lost his company. Get out, Arcane. Yeah, but that's actually kind of sad. That's actually kind of sad, man. This is the technological progress, man. That's really sad, I say, as I go to McDonald's and order from the kiosk instead of going to the cashier. I have a feeling that the omnibus burning down had to do with the impact of the status. Also fair, Will. What do you mean kids have a better... My parents bought a house. Okay, you know what? That's a reasonable argument, okay? Remember, the American Great Depression hasn't happened yet. Good old Magnus McGriddle. You should have started investing. Man, you're never going to get that condo in Dubai. When the carriage drivers lost their jobs, new ones opened for car mechanics. Arcade is part of big tech, okay, everyone? Get him out of here! He's anti-union! Just finish your sociological theories midterm. Hey, how's it going, Ivy? Oh, yeah, I don't get me wrong. In terms of a concept. Oh wait, so actually since I opened this can of worms, I'm just going to tell you guys how I approach it. Okay, in terms of a concept of technology taking over jobs, that's just the reality of the world, right? It turns out machines are always going to be more efficient than people. So it's in terms of in the grand scheme of things, the concept of machines being replaced or people being replaced by machines, I don't really care that much. But in the concept of individuals, I do feel bad, right? So it's like you can acknowledge that this is a reality and also feel bad at an individual scale as well. It's mechanics who spend their lives perfecting their job, they get replaced by a machine that can do the job even better and faster after these people have spent their lives, perfecting their careers and stuff like that. That does suck. I totally understand that. And I do believe we should, at least to an extent, try to help them reintegrate into society in a different way. But I also acknowledge this is an inevitability. So it's both, right? You can acknowledge that technology will eventually replace people, but you could also acknowledge that it's incredibly rough for the people who get replaced. Conceptually, the only way to ensure jobs don't make workers obsolete is to have them prepare to integrate into the new tech. Yeah, to an extent, you're not wrong. I mean, it's very nuanced, and I don't want to open up the entire can of worms. I just want to open up and let 2 worms out, because I opened up the can, I let 1 worm out, I might as well let 1 more. But yeah, that's just how I approach it. So yeah. Okay, philosophy time. Can we go back to thinking about Gregson's massive trunk? Dang! You've been looking at Gregson, huh? Dang, girl. Dang, girl, we looking at Gregson's trunk. He got some junk in that trunk, huh? The funny thing, pull yourself up by your bootstraps was meant to be mocking because it's impossible. I mean, oh man, we're just going deep into philosophy here. And you know, it's crazy about the bootstraps thing because it also depends on who you're talking to. You know, depending on which person you're talking to, society takes a completely different approach to them. It's like for some people, they're like, oh, it's okay, we'll help you. And there are other people like, hey, bootstraps all the way up, baby. This is where government policies, to an extent, government policies, sometimes I think, you know, smaller scale, just general society has to also be willing to, you know, do that. Like, you know, at the end of the day, you have to always start at like the individual level and then the community level. It's like, you know, when was the last time you guys ever enjoyed going to the post office, right? I hate the post office. Why? Because it turns out the government's really bad at doing things. So yeah, so it's kind of both. You have to start small and then you can try to integrate into the government. But yeah, you have the right idea. I mean, because you literally can't pull yourself up by the boot. Yeah. Gregson really should clean his Rev 4. Damn. Anyway. You can't with 1 foot. Get out. Yeah, I'm trying to be deep and philosophical out here, and we all looking at Gregson's butt right now. Why am I even here? Why do I even bother? You're just trying to play an arcade game. Well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Get out there and get a job. Let's take a serious look at the military. Maybe when we're playing Metal Gear Solid or something. Oh God. Everything just fell. Give me a moment. Oh no. Oh no. Oh crap. What philosophical debate is this? It's a debate where I'm trying to explain to you guys how to be an adult, and you guys are all like, but what if we were children instead? No, I'm kidding. All right, anyway, I'm back. This is what too much philosophy does to a guy. You end up like Sandwich. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying. If you guys noticed, like throughout the rest of the conversation, I was trying to be very like, oh yeah, that's kind of true. I'm trying not to like push one way or the other because, yeah, they never let me be. I was a Toys R Us kid. Okay, back to the game. The G in Metal Gear Solid stands for Gregson. Wait, the G in Metal Gregson Solid. Let us continue. But yeah, I feel bad for them. Like, you know, yeah, like I said, just, you know, my general position on this is like, it's inevitable, but you can also feel bad for people. You can also realize that people are struggling, right? It's pretty much, if you guys actually notice, that's my approach to literally everything. It's like, some things are inevitable, but that doesn't mean you can't try to understand why people struggle. Anyway, hey, how's it going, Sandwich?
And that great liar said without batting an eye.
The real philosophical discussion. Are Sandwich and Beppo, well, if they look the same, are they the same? That's philosophy right there.
Telling bare-faced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a lie.
Wait, Sandwich is literally just calling my girl out? He's like,
She's a liar! She's a hoe! Hoflation is real! She said she was single, but she makes millions on OnlyFans. God damn, Sandwich! Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to be you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? Sandwich is an incel.
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll kick you off of my Tier 3 subscription. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers. That'll give you something to tremble about.
And she can wrap my body in all of her firecrackers, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Tier 3, here I come! That'll be more devastating to Sandwich than losing his job. I don't know.
You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it.
I was gonna make a Tier 3 sub joke, but it's a spoiler.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir? Go on. Go on.
Oh, the blabbermouth here, headed for the room where the gunshots seem to come from.
Is he talking about himself, or is he talking about gossip?
But there was someone else who crept up the stairs from behind him, too. That's right. The rotten liar.
Oh, so she went into the room, too?
That's all you have to say? Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime?
What did I tell you, eh?
Oh, jeez, oh, God!
I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Well,
that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch?
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime. Good grief.
well, now that you've come to mention it, I suppose I remember doing something like that, in which I had forgotten until now. I suppose, perhaps, I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room.
Thank you, Venus. Either you remember or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, no one ever gets punished for perjury, okay? Because the lawyers don't want to waste their time pursuing a charge like perjury when they could be making lots of money doing something else. How's it going, Mystery?
For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it happened.
Okay, tell us about this. What are you talking about? Gina went to jail for perjury? Did she only go to jail for perjury? No, I think she went to jail for... No, I'm pretty... I thought she went to jail for conspiracy to murder. For murder. Oh, she was in jail for pickpocketing too. That's also true. No, but when you lie on the stand in order to help someone murder, I think it holds a heavier charge. I think it's conspiracy to murder. I don't know. I don't remember my law stuff as well, and I also don't know how this legal system works. She was only just charged for perjury? Oh, well, that's not so bad. I'm pretty shocked. Well, then again, the lawyers back then probably had nothing to do. She didn't conspire to murder. She lied on the stand. Yes, but that is conspiracy to murder, right? What is it? She assisted Gregson getting, or not Gregson, freaking McGilded getting his innocent verdict. I don't know if that counts as conspiracy to murder in this day and age. I don't even know if that counts as... I think it's conspiracy to murder. I don't know. Someone with legal background, which is none of you, because none of you guys are smart. If they prove intent. Thank you, Arcane. Okay, one of us has okay, Arcane has 12 IQ. I will allow him this one. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair.
Meanwhile, Venus is just committing perjury for the law. Pretty much.
If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
All right. But you did, in fact, go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? How's it going, Slippery?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
How's it going, Audible? The truth, please. I take everything I get. Look. Sometimes I have Freudian slips, okay?
Well, all right. Just a bit, then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know?
And what is your age, Miss Venus?
Somewhere between 6 and 60.
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
More like 6 than 600. The truth, please.
Well, all right.
Why does she listen to Kazuma?
Well, all right, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was not in the right elm about.
Right. Now I hesitate to ask, but did you find anything? You didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please. As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please.
Well, all right then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath. So I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, I flipped the blasted thing.
You're telling us that you did move the board?
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
You know, sometimes you gotta observe the wide scenario and notice that there is someone over there that's kinda sweating. And it's not me staring at Miss Venus. Okay, it is me staring at Miss Venus, but someone else is sweating while staring at Miss Venus right now.
What? You daft bomb pot?
What's a barm pot? Okay, to Google. Barm pot. An objectionable and foolish person.
I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
Just how I like him. She's perfect. Mwah! Am I a terrible person? So, did you find anything under it? Can we just say that the witness is completely unreliable and move on? No, because that's not how the game works. We gotta continue to get testimony and continue to demonstrate that it's unreliable. If you like people who don't think, why don't I get with a man? That is an excellent question. Why am I not more gay? Something that you might have taken, perhaps, to sell?
And please, I should be so
The truth!
I might have found his old pocket watch under the notice board.
But a bit... That is... Gina. Ah! Yes, it's Gina.
So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it.
Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? It's okay. She's an inspector. It's good.
That watch? That watch there? I was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago.
10 years ago, you say? My hair just keeps falling apart. 10 years ago, you say? Oh, Gina, calm down. It's okay. It's okay, don't worry. Iris will take some money that she laundered and give it to you later. My toupee is... God damn it.
The professor case, no doubt.
10 years is the new 7. God dang it.
The boss used to wind up every evening without fail. That was when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub.
Did he order fish and chips?
Yeah, how'd you know?
I almost have the Karen haircut. Get out. Look, I didn't have time to do my hair when I got out of the shower. It was raining today. 7 is the new 10. You know, it's all the same.
I swiped it off him once and blimey, he was upset. He gave me a right earful. Then I apologized and gave him a sorry card, but then he told me I spelled Gregson wrong. Apparently Gregson don't have 2 E's. But he still put it up on his wall. Oh, now I'm making myself sad. Oh. Say I missed a day in the last 10 years. Polishing it and winding it. Greekson. I'm sorry, Greekson. It meant the world to him. That watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for, then.
It's not all that, though. I took it to Jabez.
Jabs?
I took it to Jabez that night and asked how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it.
Don't make me cook. I'm not a Linkin Park member.
Wouldn't give me one penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worked, as he called it.
Ah! I knew I should have lifted it.
That watch must be submitted as evidence at once.
Oh, please. Just so long as you promise to get...
No, it's literally evidence, and it's also not yours.
Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you get your grubby mitts on it again.
Javez is a Herlock character. Probably like a pawnbroker, maybe?
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Oh no, children. Watch your manners. Get out, Ryunosuke.
Good lord. The glass appears to be broken.
More than likely. Oh, this Kazuma. More than likely. It shattered when the inspector was shot.
It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then. Wait, it stopped at the hour of 5. That was when the gunshot was fired? Okay, so that's not good for us. That does support that he was shot at 5. But it could be a different 5. 5 in the morning? It could also be... I'll have to examine it later. He is the book's description for the base of Pop Window. Oh, interesting. No longer ticking. We have to investigate this thing.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at last. At least.
As predicted, it had little bearing on the case. Can I just finish my cross-examination, please?
Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, counsel. Oh, thank you, judge.
I like sandwiches.
Okay, we gotta check the thingamajiggy. Examine. I always accidentally press present when I don't mean to, but... Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. Wait a sec, that keyhole looks familiar. There's a tiny keyhole here. Can you see it?
Oh yes, that's probably for the winder.
It looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Oh, Naruhodo realizes. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Kinda like the streamer. Something a bit like a key. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Oh, gee. How lucky would that be? It looks like... It kind of does look like a Pokeball, huh? If you look at it from the side, huh? The glass over the face is badly cracked.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
He's very adept at these things. He's a useful man to have around. But kindly remember that he's also a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job man. Stop being such a butthead. Stop simping. What is this? You know what they say about a broken watch? It doesn't tell time. Yeah. There's a tiny stub sticking out. He was a professional waxworker. That is true. That is an odd job. I suppose there must be a little knob or something. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took good care of his watch, probably broke when the incident occurred.
Yes, of course.
It could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene. Maybe. Oh, interesting. Okay, so first of all, we do know the key. Where is the key? Okay, here it is. Alright, open up! Click! Ah, what's that? It's tiny though, it could be another, what it's for. And now we just need to click this. Hopefully this will change the dialogue. Mr. Sato, do you think perhaps that this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
Oh yes, it could be. Let's try it. Not a moment to lose.
Oh, 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 oh! I knew it. A perfect fit.
And look, the inspector's watch has started going again.
So it's obviously just not been oh, so it's still working. It's not broken. The key to the watch was a watchman. You're right, and it hurts. A broken pot can't beat a gift horse to the burning brick. What is it, Miss Susato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. Okay, that means the watch tells us nothing about the actual time of death. Which means we found a piece of evidence and then we threw it out. Frick. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. Okay, so what does this tell us? What does this tell us? What does this tell us? This tells us that, okay, so this has nothing to do with the actual time of death, which means he could still have been killed at any point. And notably, the time of death, as according to Maria Gori, who apparently is the daughter of Courtney Scythe, who for some reason doesn't have her same last name, but you know what? Families are complicated. She didn't even actually note the time of death. Okay. I don't know anything. Are you sure about that? But you did go to see what happened in the room, didn't you?
Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know. And I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high.
So you did go to see what happened?
It's not the destination that's important. It's how you...
Oh my god, just answer the question! Did you notice the notice board in the room?
If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family.
Look, sir, I'm not here to question what type of signboard you are, just...
So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out of a sense of rivalry, I imagine.
Damn! Sandwich out here racist against other signboards. Somebody really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo signy. Oh my god, Ryunosuke. It hurts, man. Does that mean you didn't notice the board?
I can only repeat what I've said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life.
In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? I mean, we know that already. It was the Reaper. I understand this now. He's got a face that screams bored.
Hold it!
Dang it. I understand what he's saying now. What exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, come on now! Don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards, they're the one thing he likes. You can see it.
Remember, back then, anyone could make any argument, and you know, that's all I can really say. I can't say I've ever noticed.
I tell you one thing for free, though.
To be fair, Barack's face does give him a case of RBF. Resting board face. God damn it. That's not what I meant.
I never took my eyes off the man on the floor, or off the Reaper, not for a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was that scared, you know. I never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, you know?
Like a sign, exactly. If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, should you be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board?
Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort.
This man.
I couldn't have missed it. If he heaved the thing upright again and dragged it to the corner.
Right. Glad we cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I feel your pain, Cosima.
I can't see how this changes things. Hold it!
I think this is where we contradict, but... It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way. Because the gunshot we all heard. So your fate is sealed too.
My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose. What the frick? I thought we were bros! I thought we were bros! Bros before vengeance. And the prosecution's to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find a problem with that... It may be possible to change all our fates.
Of course. None of that changes the fact, oh, I heard what I did.
Not much to go on.
As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved. Someone must have done it.
But it did happen after the event, so... Maybe Cosmo is right and it's not relevant.
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned as to hide the body. I feel so sure that there's some deeper significance.
I know what you mean.
I've no doubt there are more clues. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Okay. Okay, so it's got to be the last statement. 3, 4, 5. I can't see. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Okay, so this one is the pocket watch, which wound up every day. When we heard the gunshot, we can have this. I think what we're trying to argue is that, we have reason to believe that this one's a tough one because this doesn't outright prove anything wrong. So I'm trying to think of what type of argument I can formulate. I have a general idea of what happened. This candle somehow lit this firecracker at around 5 o'clock. And so that's what the gunshot that they heard. And then the pocket watch.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case.
Oh.
At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. Oh, I wonder if the winder could also work as evidence. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it, in fact, still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken. And that fact completely undermines one of your most fundamental premises on which the case has been built on. The winder does work? Oh, okay.
Order! What's counting? The watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is when we heard the gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing, other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when the crime was committed.
Objection.
No, you! Why not? Recall when Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago,
Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for grub at the pub. He said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years. It meant the world to him. That watch did.
all right. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Or, in summary, the evening before the day of the incident when the gunshot rang out, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch.
You can't mean.
What would stop a man winding his watch if he had been in the habit of winding it every single day for the last 10 years? The obvious answer, he dropped it in the toilet. He was already dead.
Order! Counsel, that is the most extraordinary claim. Are you sure you didn't just drop it in the toilet or something? Objection!
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, actually, she didn't overlook it because she did. Oh my God, Maria, I am so sorry I doubted you. I am so sorry, Maria. Maria, please accept my apologies. I now understand she didn't know what time he died, so she left it blank because she's not like her mom who goes around falsifying reports, man. That's right, you better than your mama, who I am still a little bit in love with, but, on that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. I apologize to Maria. Maria, you can dissect my body whenever you want, okay? I apologize. But why'd she leave it blank instead of writing that she couldn't determine it? Okay, maybe she still has a little bit of her mom left in her. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right.
Wait a minute! You're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked in the door?
What the frick does that mean?
Or I said, I planted a hand in the dirty great pot of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
He catches on fast, don't he?
Objection!
But that blood could be explained by a number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body. Maybe there was a chicken. Does my learned friend think that... What the frick, Kazuma? What the frick? What the frick, Kazuma? Van Zeeks uses that to insult me. You don't... I thought we were bros. I thought... What the frick, man? What the... She probably left it there. Oh, that's a good point. In case you need to amend it. Yeah, I'm getting the learned friend treatment from my own BFF. What the frick? Kazuma peaked in high school.
Well, that needn't be necessary. We needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chick... Dang, I just said chicken's blood. What the frick?
It's certainly possible that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all. As they say, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Objection! Schmicken.
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That is beyond question. Gregson wasn't a winner. Well, someone ate some chicken that night. Is it though? Given that the time of death of the victim was already been called into question, isn't it beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all?
Oh, please, what are you trying to say?
Us lot know what we heard. Oh, us lot know what we heard. And it was a loud bang that came from the room. He still has his whip. Now you listen to me. Street seller's ears are his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir. But all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. He doesn't have the #1 chicken hat.
Explain yourself, counsel.
A noise that sounds just like a gunshot could have been made with Miss Venus.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set one off to use as a fake gunshot.
Good gracious! The very fireworks that are sold by the witness.
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying that I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop.
Nuh-uh, not 100 of them. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Pa-pow! They kept his whip. I mean, let's be real here. He probably had to buy his own whip. Companies back then didn't treat their employees nice. They forced them to buy everything. Kazuma looks like he has severe brain damage. Kazuma, now you understand what I have been dealing with every single day. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of these fireworks off at the scene. Oh, so who did she sell the fireworks to? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for the peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room. Oh, he put the firecrackers next to the candle so that when the candles burned down, it lit the firecracker. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause the bang was Barack Obama Van Zeeks.
One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them.
I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a useful invention indeed. Something called a, time bomb.
That's actually a gravity device, Mr. Naruhodo!
Yes, we did in fact learn about that.
Good heavens, a bomb!
Schultz will never get over it. Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like.
Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing may lead to yet another international incident.
No. It's the whenever you like that's important. A timed device. Exactly. A timed device. Something of the nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Huh. Wait, hold on. Somebody just said they lost their headband? Oh yeah, he did lose his headband. Yeah, I guess there's nothing to keep his brain in anymore.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed?
The candles. Ah, see, I told you. There ain't no way that a bullet just randomly went pew.
Take that!
The court has already discussed the tip of one of these candles. It's been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet which presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord.
Not possible.
Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible.
Yes. Goodness, yes, but is it not the case that there were also scorchings on the victim's bullet entry wound?
That's right. It was there. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at a very close range. A matter of What's a centimetre?
I don't know. I think they mean inches.
A matter of inches from the gun. Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks?
How can that be?
The fact that there are such visible scorch marks on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and the firecrackers were joined together. Yeah, you just had to tie it around the candle. You only measure an angstrom. Yeah, oh, that's actually really good. You know, I didn't expect it to be something as off, as like clear as that, but yeah, something along those lines. Blank links. I only measure in leagues. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burned down along with the other two. Until eventually, it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud... I only measure in light year. Man. But light years are a unit of time. And that's how these three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5. Wouldn't the other candles also be blown up slightly? I mean, yes, they'd probably be charred, but as long as the fire was still going, that part would have melted off the candle, right? So even if they would have been like charred or like had like burns on them or like gunpowder on them, it would have melted off.
Well, what a plot. And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we were led to believe. The previous day, even.
No, just told your horse. Why is Gossip so upset?
All us lawyer saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget the flame-colored hair even if we wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anyone can wear a wig. So if the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could have easily been someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who had contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Piffed. Very impressive, Ryunosuke. Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that if you had all the makings, of a great defense lawyer? I also noted the lack of time of death in this report. A stark omission. Which means it's time to update the... No! No, Kazuma, no! But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Order! Prosecutor Asogi! What on earth do you mean by that statement?
I hear many of the leading members of the British judiciary are present to observe today's trial, including one of the most respected members, Iris Wilson. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death, based on the victim's stopped watch, is conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly. I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard?
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend?
I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. My lord, the defense believes he can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson. Oh my god, he was investigating the Reaper.
What evidence is suggesting the case being investigated by the inspector?
I mean, we'll look at this to make sure. Here. These are details, the paper, out of interest. It's Sholmes' Red-Headed League, do you remember? Greg. Oh, wait! Okay, what he was investigating over time. It's not what he was investigating over time. It was what he was investigating at the exact moment of his death, which was he was trying to get 4 pounds from the Red-Headed League.
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
That's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. But what if it was a very red-headed crowd? The redheads are Iris's minions.
Yes, very good, Red-Headed League.
Except, that is, in a crowd of red-headed gentlemen. Red-headed League. So you already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
Yes, there are! I am impressed that you discovered it, Ryunosuke!
The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for grand deception. A deception of what nature, Council? They've been targeting red-headed men. Oh no! Oh no! They're taking application fees! Two men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday. My lord! The defense calls for those two men to be summoned at once! Two redheads? Wait, they exist? Oh, goodness! Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. It's very likely he had direct contact with these criminals. It's quite possible that such a contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's the Irish resistance.
Excellent! Now that I have stirred up the political agony of the Irish, I shall move on to my next phase. Invoking Lord Strongheart's wrath.
Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at the least.
The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring me those two red-headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi. At once, my lord. Very good! We will have a 13-minute recess. Oh.
Next we will bring up the fear of McGilded. We must find his lucky charms!
Wait a second, aren't those two redheads French and Italian? Alright, here we go. Redhead time. Iris was the one who set it on fire. Oh god, Iris is slowly becoming more and more nefarious by the second. And she will never be caught. This part's pretty funny. I am a little bit concerned. Wait, we don't even have them on the court record. We've met them before, right? I guess they haven't been updated onto the court record yet. 2nd of November. Oh, 2nd of November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. 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 God. Give me one moment, guys. Give me one moment. The whole series is just Iris. No, this is Iris playing with her dolls, but doing it and knowing that she controls the world. Right. I forgot to change him back.
Oh, there you are, Hodo! Well, what kept you, my dear fellows?
Oh, you changed out of that tacky kitsune mask. Hi, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Gina. Gina looks happy.
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before? Pretty hard to swallow.
Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
Next time, Sholmes is coming in like a full-on like Metal Gear Solid cosplay.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. I was more shocked but I was more shocked than all of you put together.
This is the autopsy report in question, is it?
Yeah, it's strange that there was no time of death. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission.
Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Sheath.
Metal Gilded Solid. I know. Anyway, it seems on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered the body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick.
No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
My dear fellows, the house is on fire. What? Yes, can't a grown man wear what he wants?
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite.
That's right, Suze. And it was me who took him in. Me and Toby. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly.
So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand, huh? The house is in flames because his outfit is fire, baby. Something doesn't quite make sense. The day before Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, have you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them?
Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth hound interest was also piqued by the rare scent of a £4 income.
Yes.
Don't arm with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
Yeah, well, there's the whole issue of the Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks.
Don't forget Sherlock Holmes!
No, not you.
And Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Somehow.
Oh gosh, I think you're right.
What's he trying to achieve here today?
All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow.
It's 12:35.
Exactly! At 12:36, research will be over.
You're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. He was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is he hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of the trial.
Are you ready then, Miss?
Are you ready then, Miss Susato?
Yes.
Hey, y'all, get back in there. I'm still texting.
2nd of November, 1 o'clock p.m.
The Old Bailey courtroom. The ye Old Bailey. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen. Wait, what? You're telling me that the streamer didn't take a bathroom break during the recess? Fine, go on. Don't. Hurry up. Court is starting.
I'll be right back. Nowadays, $1.29 a pound. You're looking at $5.18 a week. Wait, what? Yes, I'm wearing shorts, okay? Hello, everybody. All right. So let's see what Raph says. With 1 pound in 1900, the purchasing power of 157 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. That's a very heavy man. Well, actually, 157 is not that heavy for a man, but it's a lot of pounds. Yes, there's an arm command and there's a leg command. I'm expecting a very important email later, so pray for you. You don't have to tell me what email it is, but I wish you the best on your email. Anyway. More than I'm used to making a month. Yeah, nowadays people don't get paid very much, unfortunately. In the name of the Queen, yes, court. Okay, are you back from your bathroom break? Okay, good. Let's go. We resume the closed court hearing of Barack Obama Van Zeeks here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asoki. My lord, have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. You received 2 pizza slices. Honestly, that is the most real thing. Okay, now I gotta stop and talk about this. I cannot tell you. Okay, so first of all, when you are a grad student, you pretty much make less than minimum wage because you are functionally still a student. You're actually, in some cases, you're even paying the, in some cases, you are even paying the school to do work for them so you can get your degree. First of all, it's awful. And second of all, the worst part is like, the way they treat you for doing well, it's like, oh, congratulations. We made a big discovery that's probably going to change the direction of science for, you know, the rest of humanity. We're going to throw a pizza party for you. Yay. It's like, wow. Wow. You're going to tell me. It's honestly the same thing with corporate as well. Like when you work in like in a corporation, you will get things like, oh, congratulations, everyone. This week, our profit margin reached 10 billion. Our company is very successful. And as a thank you, we will be throwing a cookie and ice cream party for you. It's like, oh, gee, wow, thanks, 10 billion. I thought it would be maybe, you know, a raise or a bonus, but you know what? Ice cream party, that's good too. Anyway, they arrived from the local prison by police. Carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men to the courtroom. All right, boy, get up on the stand. God damn it. He's just out here eating spaghetti. Man, honestly, that just has to be something done with every single culture. Like, I don't know, like, if it's like an Indian person, like whatever you introduce them, they're just eating, I don't know, like butter chicken. If it's a Chinese person, they're just out here eating their beef and broccoli or something. It's a spaghetti! It's a spaghetti! I love this! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh man. Hope she, I think it's a dude. Is that not a dude? I guess we don't know. You can go for some butter chicken. Butter chicken sounds delicious right now. I have a theory. I think the guy Wright likes spaghetti. God dang it. The two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. Wait, attempted extortion is just a misdemeanor? I guess it depends, like, on like how much they extorted. I think that's still true today. Okay, we'll let them introduce themselves. You may omit your occupations, but for now, state your names for the court. This guy's French, I know.
I am Fabien de Rousseau. De Rousseau? A descendant of the great Rousseau, the Rousseau family from Nice in France.
And my name is Peppino de Rossi.
I love this guy! I love him! I love him! Can we let him go? Can we let him go? He's clearly not the mastermind. Does he have bell peppers in his spaghetti?
Look, it sure doesn't even fit him.
I am the third son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
That's what they said about Iris. Fair. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European... No, they're nobles?
Those who graduate from TEMSIC are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be noble blood? Hello? I make my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. Oh.
So that's the only reason this whole grant is that because you... Wait. So let me get this straight. They're defrauding people because they were bored. There's no way. There's no... They're like, why are you stealing money? I don't know. Sounded like fun. Freaking Peppino. It's like James from... God damn.
Oui, you could say that. For the thrill!
Not the bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. The strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers.
They're the hilarious, bro. You've got to be... No, stop. Stop. Stop.
Si, capo.
Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things for you to say to you.
Sì. Are you going to tell me about one of your grandi anecdotes? Evviva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me the capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Che bello! There it is! The capo's a trampa card! The furrowed brow!
Yo, my boy Peppino's just happy to be here, man.
I don't understand, but I am happy to be part of the plan. It is deep, capo. The furrow and the meaning of your words.
He's just happy to be here. Peppino's actually the one in control.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is that true? Oui. C'est ça? And what exactly was the nature of this deception in which you planned to defraud?
Alors, I will explain it.
No, Capo! Leave it to me!
Oh no.
As you see, we both have a vivid red hair. No? At the school, we were teased for this without the pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like a tree without. We, as also dogs, one says the world will respect us redheads. Every night, he would bury his head into his pillows.
C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest.
Oh no. Peppino was actually the Hound of Bakersfield. He's about the size of a dog, right?
The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London.
Oh man, like freaking French dude just wants to be taken seriously. But Italian dude's just happy to be. How's it going, Valro? He seems very embarrassed, yo. It was this one, I believe. Entitled, To the Red-Headed League.
Oui, I am honored that you have seen it.
And he's back eating. It states that the only condition for joining the Red-Headed League is having flame-colored hair. Wait, if he wanted people to respect redheads, why is he defrauding redheads? What the frick? And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted to the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the dates specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
And with the money to France, it was a plan most elegant, no?
No, none. It was most dishonorable. But to be frank, your name's Kazuma. To be Kazuma, I'm stunned anyone was foolish enough to be taken in such an obvious trick.
You know, some of us have to pay rent. Tell him, Naruhodo.
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrel. On the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. No worries, welcome, Belroth. Crucially, these two men spoke face-to-face with every single person.
Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life.
See, and now every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today?
Sorry?
The date for our child was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told about any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph.
Very good. So, Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi.
Rousseau and Rossi.
You will now give your formal testimony for the court. On the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph.
Of course.
We are always ready to help with the law.
I like me spaghetti.
The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Hey, capo!
No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now. But I assure you, he was not at the park.
Allora, this victim is nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. Is it not your fault that we got caught in the first place?
Oh, well, I'm curious to know why they got caught. You've given sworn testimony that this man was not present. Can you be certain?
Oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man.
Nobody looking like this came to the park. That I can promise.
It must be noted that you have been arrested for grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Oh no! Let us go get the pizza. Uffa! With this attitude, we get to nowhere.
He's really a sulking now. Oh, the Zenless Zone Zero. I might do some gambling on Thursday if the stream works out. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entity from the inspector's private diary, dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, Wait. This document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the investigator's private diary. Okay, so, what's his name? Gregson's diary, Lime Street, Red-Headed League Undercover. Oh, interesting.
Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question.
That is ridiculous.
There's no question. Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Ooh.
Very well. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination now.
Yes, my lord. Did I watch the last couple of videos? You mean, did I spend an hour and a half watching Pulchra get a massage? Maybe. What? I mean, what? Sorry, what? The man in the photograph. I'm not a furry. I just happened to be watching for what? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let's figure this out, guys. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people in the park, but I don't recall the man in the photograph. Hey, Capo. None, I don't remember. It was obviously dead now, but I assure you he was not there. Allora, this victim has nothing to do with us. Okay, so first thing I want to understand is I want to push them on something that is less relevant, because what the frick does this mean? It's your fault we got caught. How did you get caught?
Hold it!
What do you mean by that?
Cavallo, you promised not to say "Hey, capo."
After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirky.
Oh, Dunkirk.
Dunkirky to my companion here.
Feel free to press everything. Oh, yeah, I'll press everything.
But he brought them for the wrong day.
Oops.
See, but this is an easier mistake to make. The 31st.
Wait, what? he mistook the first for the 31st. It's okay. It's okay. He's cute. He's cute. It's okay. I give Peppino I give Peppino a break. He's cute.
I have no sympathy for you. We were all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it is only because of this that the so-called great red-headed detective caught us.
Oh, caught us. Oh, that's French. All right.
Capo, you know what I think? This is a work of God. Is a holy punishment, eh?
Oh, Peppino, for the last time. This is not a holy punishment. This is a wholly your fault. Ah! Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with the anger.
Maybe I make a mistake. But when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is the faster.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, Peppino. Yes. Yes. And I've seen the evidence. Honestly, I probably will press everything because they gave us nothing to work with. So I probably will press everything anyway, Samps. They haven't told us much. Side note, their JP names. Italian, is this an Italian stereotype or a French stereotype? Yes. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Like the Peppino for French fry. Man, Peppino's just sucking up that pasta, man. Well, if it was the inspector's diary, it seems like he must have gone to Lime Street. Lime Street is where the thing was, right?
And yet, these two both claim they didn't see him.
Peppino of Cheez-Its are good. Okay, so Rousseau was... Dekiru. Wait, Maurice Dekiruko. Dekiru? As in, like, I can do it?
I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies.
They don't appear to be doing much of anything, to be honest. Well, they are experts in deception. I don't think... Well, one of them might not be an expert of deception. Peppino is... Marco Dajiko. I'm not sure what that means. You're gonna have to translate for me as well for the pun. I'm really bad at like putting together Japanese puns.
They may simply be lying to avoid getting implicated. Surely if they were true experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Definitely.
Hold it!
1,000 and yet you could identify this one?
It was quite a spectacle. Redheads coming from all over the capital.
Right, and the Great Exhibition's still going on.
See, the capo here, he has the magnetissimo animale. Eh?
Dojiko tends to be clumsy. Ah, I see. So, the capable one and the clumsy one. I see.
Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo.
All those people wanted the money, Peppino. The £4 per week.
Wait, I'm gonna be real here. I think De Rousseau is really good friends with this guy. Because otherwise, he would have kicked him to the curb. But he's like, you know what? You're my idiot friend and I love you. I want them to have like a heart-to-heart. And by the end of this, they're going to be like, I'm sorry I took advantage of you, Peppino. I'm sorry I'm always so dumb. He's like, it is the dumb that makes you so special to me.
Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui, that we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
We take their names and we take their money, and then we take their address, and then we take their identity. Then I tell them we take some days and let them know by a post infinito. Maybe a 2 minute per person.
That's 2,000 minutes. How much is a day? How many minutes in a day? 3,600, right? Minutes. No. Wait. No, that's. Wait. How many minutes in a day? Minutes in an hour. 24 hours. What's 24 times 60? I don't know. I'm not gonna do mental math right now. Minutes in a day. 1,440. They had 1,000. They took 2 minutes each. Dang, they took longer than a day to go over every single person. God dang.
We start early in the morning and we start late in the night.
Well, then again, maybe they took less time for some people. So maybe the whole day. So you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who would have thought that there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with?
I'm saying I had to pay rent!
And then we take their kid.
They probably split the applicants between the two of them. Well, whoever got the interview with Peppino was lucky.
Do you like a pizza?
One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair.
Mr. Naruhodo, I don't particularly like your friend.
Hold it!
Alright, why don't you recall this man? Are you sure? He doesn't look familiar? How do you know for sure?
No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us.
I mean, you were trying to trick literally everyone.
I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people.
Damn it. Says the con artist.
If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face.
Oh, wait, he's Japanese, therefore he's American.
No, signore. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park.
He's not gonna give the court a definite, it seems.
Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh?
I mean, Sholmes, at this point, Sholmes is probably mooching off of Ryunosuke. You're just sorry if you're spamming. You're not spamming, you're fine.
Hold it!
But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people.
Oui, that is true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
Then surely you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally, the red hair is a very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 red heads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give, maybe we could recall.
That is not the line, Peppino.
They rehearsed this! They rehearsed it!
Remember? We do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hair piece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think we could have forgotten him.
Bookends. They are absolutely a two-man comedy. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph. But what if I fed them just one other detail? For example... Oh... I can certainly appreciate that just knowing this man had red hair wouldn't help you. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. Can you guys think of someone who's eating incessantly? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Can you guys come up with someone? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon.
Or a spaghetti! Me, I love a spaghetti!
Really? I didn't know! Tell them again what you saw before, Peppino.
Si, capo, si! I say it again and again!
We'll press this one, then we'll go back to the other one and see if we can get any other information.
Hold it!
But we only have your word.
Si, but what else can we do? Oh!
Is he standing on a... He's totally standing on a box. True.
Oof! We are not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of the dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Capo.
No. We were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people.
You had to bring that up. It's not fair. Capo.
Okay, let's go back. This one.
Hold it!
1,000 or more people that day. Yeah. There are red-headed people. Red-headed people. We need some more information. Ooh. Okay, we need something else. For example, his name, his profession. I'm surprised the fish and chips didn't do anything. Let's try the profession. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the red hair wouldn't help. What if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate. Well, having the fish and chips while going undercover, that's a good point. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Sorry, Peppino. Do you remember something about, spaghetti or detectives?
Excuse me.
Something to add, Peppino.
Si, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark?
What did you just say about the detective?
Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already.
But why, capo? What is the problem?
She is pronounced K. Oh, it's K. Okay, thank you.
But why, capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said that. I am an inspector from Scotland Yard.
Why, thank you, Peppino. Good lord! Look at his box! There he is! There's the box! Order! Explain your volte face in your testimony, witness. There was no such man.
Madai! What are you saying, capo? Have you forgotten, eh? It's okay, I have the larger memory forget.
I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park.
Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at the many things, but not the two. The memory and the meal.
I love how Pepito just thinks he's helping.
Don't worry, I help you. You have a smaller memory, but I have a larger memory. I remember things that you may forget.
Yeah, no, he's not a snitch. He just wants to help. He's not even a snitch. He just wants to help.
Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, nobody is faster.
But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up!
Objection!
Oh, everyone's slamming the desk.
Trop tard? The damage is done. Indeed it has, sir.
You speak Italian and it mostly means nothing.
There was a man who came to the park and said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. It was someone else.
How can you be sure?
Because, to start with, his face was completely different.
See, it is true, it's true. The man who came was younger. His face was clean shaven, his eyes were sad, his chin was thin.
No resemblance whatsoever, then.
Do we know any other Scotland Yard detectives? Scotland Yard. No. Was it Gina? No, of course it wasn't Gina. I mean, that's the only other person so far. Not you. Was it? No, he was what is it? A warder. You're the governor. Not you. I still think Gossip is related to these two. She's very beautiful, but not her. Not him, and these two are the idiots. I don't think we know any other Scotland Yard detectives. Was it Gina? It was Gina! It was Gina! I had to! Iris told me to do it! Gina would never.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof.
Peppino is older. Oh yeah, he's 25. Let me see. Yeah, 25. Hold! I just noticed that Peppino has a scar on his neck. Very similar to Gossip. Isn't that interesting? What is that? How's it going, Will?
See, the capo here doesn't take no nonsense. Hee.
Peppino is definitely Gossip. Iris said she could revive Gregson. That's why I did it.
But he was well prepared. He said he had the identification.
Identification. You mean an official police inspector's identification?
That is most unconvincing.
Sorry, my lord?
Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection.
That's a good point, right? If he was undercover, why would he say, "Hi, I'm an inspector"? That's silly. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity?
Clearly the papers were fake.
Santo Capo, you are a genius! As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize.
He just wants to help, man. He just wants to be a good little minion.
I am a helping.
He just wants to be a good boy and help. And what happened after he announced he was a detective?
He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park.
It was a fantastico. Look at.
Thank you for helping. Thank you for helping, Pepito. Pepito, you are doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. I am so proud of you. Pepino looks at Iris.
All according to a plan. It was a fantastico. And look, here is the identification.
So you stole it from the man.
He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said that he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to behave like a true inspector would. However, I believe it prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like it.
Alright, let's investigate this thing.
Now, let us return.
Alright, Metropolitan Police Warrant. I guess we just do this. Slip, slip, slip. I suppose we should see what this inspector's ID looks like. If only they wrote in, you know, actual legible ink. Inspector 997! I knew it! It had to be Inspector 997! It couldn't have been anyone! Oh, man. It definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Greg's. Mm-hmm. 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 Of course. Of course. Obviously. Wait, what?
The Scotland Yard insignia. It looks genuine to me.
I mean, maybe can we give it to like an actual inspector and have them look at it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Gina would know. She doesn't know how to read. She looks at it. Oh, so that's how you spell Gregson? I thought it was Gregson. But how?
The department and identification numbers are correct as well.
Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say...
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine ID book issued by Scotland Yard.
But... Wait, then that means this is Gregson's... Huh? So let me get this straight. They're saying it wasn't Gregson, but he had his ID book. Either these guys are liars, which I think... Oh, let's be real here. Peppino probably couldn't come up with a better lie, but I think the French guy could come up with a better lie. Super complicated. Okay, this has nothing to do with us. It's probably this, right? The victim is a nothing to do with us. I guess we just say wrong.
Objection.
I wonder if I can ask you to examine the identification book very closely. The plot thickens. Man, this plot is so thick. Oh my, this is a thick ass plot. Miss Lestrade. Oh, okay, we really are giving it to.
Oi, hello. I can't read.
Why Miss Lestrade?
What is your intention here, counsel?
Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question. Which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen.
There's the boss. No question about it.
It can't be! As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation!
So hello?
That's right, Gina, punch him in the face! Order!
If the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on about me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say.
What if he couldn't? Oh, these guys have some explaining to do. What if... Oh, these guys have some explaining to do. Oh, why do you have his ID, huh? Oh, these guys got some explaining to do. Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Basically, what are you saying?
You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his ID stolen. Peppino doesn't really understand the gravity of the situation.
Oh, that is a very interesting idea. We should pursue it.
Slaps Brock. You can fit so much trauma in here. The defense posits that the victim was killed a day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
I am crying in Italian. I know nothing. I know nothing.
Pull yourself together, Peppino.
Therapy stocks are going up. Oh, man.
Mon Dieu. Do you can believe a little more like a master criminal than that, no?
Oh, behave.
I wish I had returned to Italia.
Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise, I...
Oh, stop your whining and start talking.
Well, I believe the court will hear you.
I know nothing. I done nothing.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome.
Oh, oui, oui. Oh. You will dry your eyes and testify again and stop ho-hoing about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them.
Wait, what are Italian sounds?
Mamma mia! Mamma mia!
For all French and Italian people out there, I apologize for crying out loud. Mamma mia! Your friend went to therapy and just immediately okay. Literal crying out loud. Mario sound effects. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him. What now? Okay. When will I apologize to the Irish? The Irish don't exist. You know that.
Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case.
That was a 0 to 100 real quick.
We took the man's identification and shut him in the room next hour. There might have been a little tussle. We caught him and we did him no harm. The next morning we let him go. He spent the night in the nice room. He was nursing like a prisoner.
This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man.
But no, it was not like a prison. It was a very comfortable and calm and happy.
God damn it, these guys. Oh my frick.
Hey, Campo.
It was never part of my plan. I swear it.
Oh, fine. So, you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong by a one later day.
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it.
We'll turn them against each other. Oh.
No. Per favore, Campo. It is not the fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back in the prison, gentlemen.
Ugh. I do not believe this. How could he have been a real detective?
Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night in the red-headed slammer. Italian seems to share similar words with French and Spanish. Yeah, they're all from the same base language, right? They're all Roman languages, right? Yeah, they're all Roman languages. Fun fact for you guys, Romance language has nothing to do with, you know, like love and stuff. It has to do with the word Roman. So don't confuse that. When people say like, oh, we speak Romance languages because we're romantics, like, no, you come from the Roman Empire, which killed millions of thousands of millions of people. The game invented Irish people for McGilded. Yeah, Raph, you don't exist. We know that. Okay. Where is your secret hideout?
Hold it!
I guess Boo would know by now. Do you realize what you're saying?
You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I am sure the detective did not intend to either.
What, you think?
But there was nothing else I could do.
See, nothing else. This was the first crime for the Campo. He was at the wits of his end.
Wait, they're not even con men. They're beginners. They've never committed a crime.
This will be our first crime. I am so excited. told you before, Peppino. That is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind.
What about the hideout of yours?
An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street.
We went to place for the 2 days. It was inspired by the capo here.
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive. Inspired. A capo.
What am I supposed to say to that old Peppino?
And it was the house described that you confirmed Inspector Gregson, right?
Oh, oui. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector.
That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him as your prisoner, would there?
No, you are right. But we couldn't be completely certain.
So even though they didn't think he was an inspector, just in case, we'll put you in prison. Britain doesn't exist? Yeah, the only 2 countries that exist are America and Mexico. That's why the only thing Americans ever talk about is the border.
Hold it!
What's Canada? I don't know what you're talking about, sorry. Too scared? Why?
Because why had you come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen Sumi plan.
And if that was not the case, he would go straight to the police station and blow the whistle. And if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, without a doubt.
I think most people would agree that it's you 2 who were up to no good.
Well, see, you may be right. Capo.
I love this guy. He's just a happy little dude.
The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner.
What I don't understand is why the inspector needed to show you his identification in the first place. Deflection.
See, I asked myself the same question.
We were writing down the names and address of all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me.
See, address, Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said.
What?
He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that was when he said he was an inspector. Not long after, he took out his identification.
What was Inspector Gregson playing at? I wonder, was it really not Inspector Gregson? Oh, wait, hear me out here. If you're conducting like an undercover investigation, you wouldn't expose your identity. Why would you expose your identity? You would expose your identity so people know who you are. Why would you want people to know who you are? Well, one possible reason why you might want people to know who you are is if that's not actually who you are. So what if it really was a Gregson imposter? That's an interesting thought. Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say.
I see, we did that. We took the man's identification and shut him up in the room next to...
Oh, wait, go back. I love how they're just crying. They're like, I'm sorry we got caught.
Hold it!
That being this one here, correct?
I see, that is the one.
What made you believe it was a forgery?
I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. Allora, I was thinking, it must be a false. Capo.
Oui, it is just as Peppino said. We were convinced that it was not genuine.
And And so together, the hilarious brothers took the man captive.
All we did was shoved him inside a locker room. Then we made preparations to transport all of the money.
In for a penny, in for a pound. I know, Peppino's just so happy. He's like,
I did it! I did the something, my brother!
Hold it!
what do you mean by a little tussle?
Oh, it was nothing. Just a minor incident.
The false inspector! He was a real piece of the work! Ye capo!
What happened?
It was a disaster! We give him a nice room, what he does here do, In the middle of the night, he tried to escape through the ventilatore!
To the window? How's it going, Vivi? Can you blame him?
We chased him, monsieur, and we caught him again.
He vented.
Can you blame us?
Wait, you didn't. You shot the man in your haste?
Who do you think we are? Of course not! I simply caught hold of him again and took him back into the room.
Go on, Peppino. Go, I'll let you speak.
Excuse me.
I'll let you speak. You got this, Peppino. Peppino, is something wrong?
Me?
Something Mr. de Rousseau said seemed to make you, hungry. What was that all about?
Cavolo, at times like this you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me! And I speak from a personal pizzas!
Wait.
Experience! From personal pizza!
Personal pizza?
That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more.
The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League in action, I was scared.
Peppino did assure you guys. You're right, he did.
It was not fair to the capo, but I had tried to run away.
It's a shame you didn't manage it.
But the capo here, he came after me like a turbine. And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruise to prove it, capo?
Bruises, you say?
You want to see my fantastical bruises?
That is enough, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you.
What to do? I show you, or I don't. I show you, I don't.
You do now!
Allora, if everybody wants to see it, then I do it. Ecco, you see, it is still a very...
Wait, did he strangle you? That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house?
See, the capo sometimes he is very rough and...
I said that is enough. Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we are talking about here.
Did he strangle him? Did he strangle his friend?
Yes. What is your opinion, Counsel?
About this red ring? Yes, it frickin' does! I ask you to amend your testimony about that mark.
Hey, capo, you see, everyone is interested. Don't worry, I understand why everybody like it. I continue to tell.
You will amend your testimony.
See, if you really want to know, I know everybody want to know. Don't worry, capo. I am always very interesting. I help you. He tried to escape, but he put
a collar around. Are you saying that the red mark was caused?
See, a big collar around with a made of leather.
He kept him there by tying him to the bed or something like that. A leather collar. Is this true, Mr. Rousseau?
We had a saint to burn out.
The Hound of Bakersfield!
It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain.
A strong chain? He really is the Hound of Bakersfield. And you put it around your friend's neck?
Sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone.
Oh, he just doesn't want to be lonely.
You did not have to tie the chain of a leg at the bed and throw it in and put it on the neck over me and then put it around me and then the leather strap and put on my neck. Although it didn't feel good, it would remind me of the time when the people love me and they tie me to the bed and then they take off my clothes.
Pepino!
I would not ever try to run again.
You did that to Inspector Gregson as well, didn't you?
I treat that the people are equal.
Oh my god! It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. True equality!
The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough.
Equal rights, equal fights.
I shouldn't have done it.
I yearn for true gender equality. So the following morning when you released the inspector.
He had the red ring around.
Gossip had Gregson's ID.
Pepino, s'il vous plaît. Leave it now.
Now you know, the capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, before the inspector is not so bad. I still cry.
Cry. Hee hee, I have a bruise. Cry. Hee hee, I have a bruise. Cry. Hee hee, I have a bruise. Cry. Hee hee. Okay. He put the collar on him and dragged him back, like what he did to me. He spent the night in a nice room. I'll push this one still. You took away the man's freedom, however comfortable you made it sound. You were holding him prisoner.
If you say that, then I say this. There is something that takes away our freedom too. The lack of money. So we are prisoners as well. All of us. We are all the prisoners of the heart. So it is okay.
Huh?
No money, no freedom. It is the truth. It make me mad. It make me sad. What can we do? I know that make me glad. It is so bad. I wish we had more money because I am so sad. I make a poem.
If you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. It will cost you, though.
There you have it. You see, that is why we need the Red-Headed League to fight for justice!
Perhaps he has a point. No, Mr. Naruhodo, he does. Hold on, let him cook.
All we did was give the man a comfortable place to sleep before the night. And you say it was in prison.
Perhaps he has a point again. No, Mr. Naruhodo, he really does.
You should have heard him snoring. My guy, if anyone was disturbed, it was us.
Not much to go on, really.
Their testimony does make me wonder, you know, about the pocket watch belonging to the inspector.
The one he treasured so much, huh?
If he was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would have still been able to wind his watch.
That's very true, yes. So Inspector Gregson did die while he was being held captive?
In which case, is it possible that these two young men were responsible for Inspector Gregson's?
To be honest, I find that hard to believe. They're kind of dumb.
Perhaps we should find out exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened.
Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo.
I think we've pressed everything. We kept him for a prisoner, even though I was scared to let him a real detective. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in a room next to ours. He tried to escape, but he had the bruises. But the capo put a collar on him and dragged him back, like what he did to me, see? Unfortunately, we can't present a profile, otherwise I would present a profile. Yeah, if we could present a profile, I would present, not him. Wait, yes, him! Yes, him! That's what, okay. I was subconsciously thinking about this for a while now. Hold on, let me just press this. Oh, and the music stopped. This guy was held captive by these guys, right? Because that's why he has the mark on his neck, right? And I said that they were related, right? These two must have been related in some way. That was just a theory based on like how they look. But Daily Vigil was missing last night, and he didn't contact his wife. What if he couldn't contact his wife because he was being held prisoner by these two? In which case, Gossip is Vigil. I think we got it. I think we got it. I think they are the same person. Wait, does that mean Daily Vigil makes money by being a street peddler? How does he make that much money? Maybe Gossip is his... how he makes money. How do you get the fish lips? Well, he got beaten up. CC big color leather true. Yes, great, strong chain. Yes, you sorry. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, you didn't have to do that to Inspector Gregson. Okay, understandable now. No, you get the capo is a tough. The capo is rough. The capo believes in equal rights. The capo believes in equal fights. I am so. I have the red ring around my neck. I have the red ring, and now I'm. Give to the inspector. Hey, Raph, let's try not to just give the answers away immediately, okay?
Hold it!
Oh, frick, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, great. Yeah, Raph, let's just not just give away the answers, okay? Penny pound. Okay, he has the red thing. Yeah, at first I wanted to present this because my theory was they were the same person, but I also realized that, you know, they wouldn't know that yet. So... Although what you say makes sense, it's still giving the answer. Let's just try to be careful of that, okay? Not this one. Not this, not this.
Objection!
So the day before the body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito.
No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was homely.
However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency.
What inconsistency?
Maybe they'd be able to recognize him from the photograph, huh? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. If there were only a mod here, they could have removed the message. The problem is Keoma and Az also... I don't think Keoma and Az have played this before, so they wouldn't know it was a spoiler. But that's also a good point. Yeah, maybe we could have just used the mod. Well, I'll figure it out. Don't worry, guys. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, just please try to be careful with the spoilers, guys. You'll see there's no red ring visible around his neck.
But it makes no sense. It wasn't me who took the collar off the man in the morning.
But you can infer that that's a good point. That's a good point. But no worries. We could. It's not a big deal. Just be careful, guys. Yeah, Kyoma's here.
And I saw the red bruise on the neck just like I have.
Given that the mark is clearly visible on the witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi. But Peppino's also a big boy, so the collar was probably tighter on him.
Indeed, that is most peculiar.
But what do we tell you all? We say that this is from the beginning, many times.
Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is someone different to the man we held captive as at night.
These guys are terrible criminals.
Order!
It would appear then on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street, posing as an inspector, was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book, issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen an important item from the inspector.
Actually, I could have probably done it easily.
We call Sholmes to the stand. Oh, no. The prosecution made that assertion himself. It's almost like they're not cut out for crime. It was also known that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson, whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered.
You know what I just remembered? Both Gregson and Vigil have a connection to the professor. What if they were working together in some way? Huh.
The fact that no bruising can be seen around the neck defies explanation.
What am I thinking? I mean, it just sounds like they may have been working together in some sort of way. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did the person come to be in possession of a real inspector's identification? At this point, who doesn't have a connection to the... That's actually also an excellent point.
Does the defense have a plausible explanation? Counsel!
The whole thing defies explanation.
It is precisely for these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. I know the answer, but I'm not going to tell you. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie.
No, the facts can't lie, and neither do these hips. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Stop spoiling myself. How's it going, Sean? Or Sauron? Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by the information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious!
That's what I just said.
Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. Why don't you help us all to see whatever the truth is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi? An imposter. That's pretty sus. Though it seems incredible, undeniably, the facts only point to one thing. Wait, what color is he? Looks like he's... purple? Purple was sus! Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner can't have been Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
On the contrary, I haven't finished. What color? I mean, just what... You know what I mean. What? There was no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed is, the person who had bruising, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street, found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's ID?
I see. That is right, and we tell the same story every time. Well, not DiCapo here. He continued to lie, but I always tell the truth. Oh, no, he no lie. He just a forgetful. Who this man was? DiCapo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog.
Mon Dieu, Pepino! I was not so hard as you say.
So who was that the false inspector? Who was he?
Clearly, the defense has an idea about the true identity of the man.
I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate, post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park?
I really want to say Vigil, but I don't think they're ready for that. You can't handle the truth. Yet.
Take that!
Isn't that...
One of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today. A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be... Wait, didn't they say that Gregson was kind of a legend in Scotland Yard, right? Right, like Gregson was like a really high-ranking detective, right? All right, so hear me out here. Gregson's a very high-ranking detective, which means he probably makes quite a bit of money to be investigating all these cases, right? Now, let's say there was a man, specifically a man without a job who was fired 10 years ago from being a chief prison warder, who needed to make money. And there happened to be a detective who happened to be a legend who made a lot of money. who was willing to pay him. Then suddenly, juror number 2 gets all her fancy dresses. What if the reason why Evie never found out that he left functionally the Force was because the Force was still paying him just under the table? She'll always be juror number 2. Okay. I'm just saying. If this guy makes a lot of money, who's to say he couldn't, under the table, fund someone to do some things for him? Wait. Does that mean Gregson was partaking in illicit activity? No. Wait, but that implies that Gregson was doing some shady stuff during his investigation. You know what? As long as he wasn't, like, clearly, like, doing terrible things. I don't know. Because if I follow this theory to the conclusion, it means Gregson was paying this guy to do some shady stuff for him. All bodies. He probably was. Oh no. Not Gina's dad. Gina's dad can't be a dirty cop. Gina is the only good cop. He did negotiate with Eggs Benedict. Well, maybe it wasn't his fault, right? Maybe he was trying to conceal government secrets again, right? He raised her to be better than him. Look at those innocent eyes, man. Look at Gina's innocent little eyes, man. Then again, you never know who's truly innocent. A nameless man whose occupation... Maybe it's not that bad. Gina will have to learn to tell the difference between the bad ones and the good ones, huh? Whose occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
Objection.
What on earth would a street seller be doing in the police inspector's identification papers? Witness. Is this the man or not? Oh, what has happened to his lip? Oh, what has happened to his lip?
See, this man is not the red-headed league. He's looking for a twisted lip league and all.
Perhaps rather than making such rash claims, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. What? The man with a twisted lip is the Herlock Sholmes story? Oh, I didn't know. That's interesting. You're making lots of good references. Way over my head. The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back.
Order! Bailiff! Yeah, what's going on? Bring the aforementioned witness into the courtroom. All right, let's get on, boy. Let's come on in. Immediately.
Look, we are matching, sir. You are so nice. You are like my brother.
Well, I never. An undeniable red ring of bruising indeed. Identical to that of the witness beside him.
Now what's going on here? I've always had this, me. It's a birthmark.
A birthmark, you say? I assume it's been the reason you've been called to the stand. Has this been explained to you?
Oh, I heard something about that. The inspector said it was a really Texas guy. He kept calling me boy, and he kept talking about the buffalo on the range. But I'm telling you, I go all wrong as usual.
You're denying all knowledge of it.
Well, of course I am. Are you trying to tell me to kill me with all the nonsense, eh?
At least you have more stories to peddle back in Fresno Street, won't you? We're gonna need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRousseau and Mr. DeRossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you?
Do we have any choice?
We are in a big trouble here, Capo.
That's quite enough. Dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Does the man with the big lip really have a... Will the streamer ever win the heart of juror number 2? Find out next time.
I couldn't think of a cliffhanger. Man, that was exciting, man. That was an exciting one. All I have to say is Vigil has a hot wife. All I have to say is that Venus, whose last name I don't even know. She probably doesn't have a last name. I gotta say, them matches are lucky men. Can't spell Evie Vigil without evil. Venus might not even be her first name. I mean, yeah, probably not. Oh, this was a really good one. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see what happens next time. By the way, for those of you who were talking about Zenless Zone Zero, I may stream some story stuff on Thursday if it works out. You're excited for tomorrow? Because Thursday I don't usually stream, so it'll be like a little extra stream for you guys. She probably doesn't even know her real name. Maybe she doesn't know. I mean, she seems like she was an orphan as well. She's like the little match girl, right? That's like a fable, I think. You gonna go to sleep? Thanks for coming. All of you who are heading out, thanks for coming. Oh my god, I cannot wait. Oh my god, this is gonna be good. I'm convinced now. I'm like 100% convinced that this guy is actually what's his name? That this guy is actually Daily Vigil. And he was stuck there, which is why he couldn't contact his wife, which is why his wife thought he was missing. And he was working with Gregson, which is where he was getting the money. He was being paid under the table by the police force, I believe. This part was a nightmare. That's what it was. Was it funny? Yes. Minus the flying baby, your flight was okay. Oh, I'm glad your flight went well. Yeah, see, I told you, nothing to fear. Unless you're Irish, then maybe you should be a little bit afraid. I'm kidding. The flying baby. Oops. I had a massive lunch today, so I don't need to eat dinner. Oh, man. But yeah. Massive lunch equals massive poop. I mean, you're not wrong. Well, no, actually, you could be wrong. It depends on the speed of your digestion. How is the movie? Good. I got to take some pictures. I got to, you know, take some like fancy red carpet pictures, except it wasn't really red carpet pictures. It was just like fun little. It was like a mini red carpet. I'm 5% famous. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a movie I was working on. Yes, there was a movie that I was a part of that just got released. I can't tell you guys what it is because I'm trying to keep my actor life separate from my YouTube life. But I will say this: if you guys figure it out, I won't tell you that you're wrong. Let's put it that way. Quick, find him! Find him! Where does he live? Your dad went to school in LA, and one time he almost accidentally blocked Rob Rayner from the red carpet. So here's the thing, right? I went to school in LA as well, right? And around me, there is a theater that they have like full-on red carpet shows on. Like that's where like if you guys go on to like Entertainment Tonight on TV, right? That's where they have the red carpet stuff. They have the red carpet stuff there, right? And so it's like really close to my school. And it's really annoying because like sometimes when you're trying to like I'm trying to just walk back to my apartment, and then like traffic is incredibly backed up and they won't let anyone walk across the street because they're blocking people and then filming them, and then so like it's like the worst. It's the worst. So like I went to this one, and this one I made sure, you know, like I'm okay with this one because this one was all indoors, right? It wasn't blocking anyone. But like the freaking red carpet shows are always the freaking worst because I just want to go freaking home, but they're like, no, this one guy walking along the street while we film him is way more important. It's like, oh my god. It's like, here's the reality. And this is, by the way, one of the reasons why I keep talking about like voiceover idol culture, about like, you know, how people who like worship the voiceover artists more than they even care about the characters themselves. They're like, oh, we care about this character because they're voiced by this particular person or something like that. It's the worst. It's always the freaking worst. And it's because it's just not good. Long story short, it's just really, really bad. And like the reason is because, you know, it prioritizes people, and as a result, like, you know, when we have this weird like metric of like people, like it causes, like, long story short, okay, you cannot cause the world to come to a halt just because some dude is walking down the street. Long story short. Okay, I don't care if it's protesting or red carpet or like celebrities. You cannot stop traffic just because some dude is walking down the street. Okay, that long story short. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, what was I doing? I don't remember. Anyway, it's time for me to head out. I need to... Am I planning on playing any AAA games? Well, gee golly, I heard there was this game called Assassin's Creed. Probably not any AAA game. No AAA games have been particularly exciting to me lately. I plan on playing Pirate Yakuza, but that's like a spin-off game. Yeah, AAA games have been awful recently. AAA games. Let's see. Recent. Hogwarts Legacy. I played that. Triple ass. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. One of the big problems, like there are a whole bunch of different problems with the AAA industry. One of the big problems is that investors, when they started investing in video games, they started treating video games like a tech medium instead of an art medium, like that. And so, like, when you see like tech medium, like, do you know why people invest in tech? People invest in tech because, well, long story short, the reason why people invest in tech is because they make innovations and stuff like that, right? So people, a lot of investors who don't understand video games, they invested into video games like they were technology, like they were graphical innovations and so on and so forth. And that's not really what the video game industry is. For example, you don't really see investors investing in things like, you know, painting, or you don't often see investors investing in music, right? Usually the people who invest in music are like the big industry bigwigs, right? They're not like tech investors. But there are a lot of tech investors who've been investing in video games and thinking like, oh yeah, we should work on the graphics and stuff like that. And so they start making innovations and things that gamers don't really care about. Long story short, it's like, that's what happened to AAA games in a nutshell. Now, there's like a million like different things that came along with it, but that's what happened to it in a nutshell. I heard a statement lately that games like indies are more because they solve the problems AAA games have the problem AAA games have, which is corporatism. That's functionally what it is. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Corporatism isn't the problem. The problem is when the corporations don't know what they're investing into. I think that's the real problem. So the problem is like this, right? Let's put it like this, right? If you have a television manufacturing company and a whole bunch of investors start investing into this this television manufacturing company expecting smartphones, and then suddenly they're all like, oh, well, now we have to create smartphones. And so they create crappy smartphones. Why? Because they're not a smartphone company. They're a television company. That's functionally what happened to many of these AAA corporations, right? A lot of them, they have a whole bunch of investors, and they said like, oh yeah, we're gonna do AI stuff, and we're gonna do graphical innovations, and this is stuff that is quantifiable, that you can actually identify, that you can see the innovation in that. Do you know what you can't see the innovation for? Good stories, well-written characters, and those are the things that the gamers care about. And so they just invested in something that they completely didn't understand, so they started working on the wrong things, and guess what the industry did? The industry stopped caring about them. That's functionally what happened. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, for example, do you guys see that unskilled innovation? Functionally, yeah. Like, for example, did you guys see the big lawsuit that Ubisoft had, like, in 2020? Just recently, it came to a head. It was a giant sexual harassment lawsuit. Apparently, like, there were some Ubisoft executives in 2020 that were like watching porn in public and harassing girls, forcing girls to kiss them and stuff like that. Yeah, those dudes, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, so here are these three dudes, and just recently it came to a head. There was a big article that was released recently in France, I think. Like, not very many places actually reported on it, but it was like a really major thing in France. And so yeah. And so what they did is they did a major overcorrection, and because the corporations were there, and you know there were a bunch of investors, and they looked at it and they're like, oh crap! It's like, okay, so what do we do? Okay, well, let's go in the opposite direction. Let's go super. We're woman friendly. We are gay friendly, and they try really hard to push that. Why? Because that's how corporations work, right? You do the thing that gives you like the best, like visual, like in the public, the best optical optical perception from the general public, and you push that, and so on and so forth. So they end up pushing all these unimportant things. Like, okay, it's like you didn't have to push like, oh, diversity and we need better treatment for what. You didn't have to push that so hard. You just have to like, okay, let's all not be jerks. Let's all not be pieces of crap like those dudes. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's literally all they had to do. But because, you know, a lot of corporations and investors, they care a lot about optics and visualizations and, you know, how people perceive the companies. And so long story short, they just pushed all the wrong things. It's really sad. It's really sad, to be honest. Well, here's the interesting thing about indie games. He says, gamers like indie games because they solve the problem that AAA games don't. Well, here's the little caveat of that. Lots of indie games fail. Most indie games fail. Here's the reality. Most indie games, you've never even heard of them because they failed so hard. That's just the reality of it. And the good indie games, they succeed, right? But there's problems across the entire line, right? So it's very difficult to quantify the video game industry because it's the same as the art industry, right? You know, a lot of people say, why do actors make a lot of money? It's like most actors don't even make minimum wage. It's like the only actors you see that make a lot of money are the ones that are super, super, super rich. It's the same idea here. Right, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a lot harder to quantify than most people think. But the reality is, to a large extent, and this is happening across the board. It's not just video games, and we kind of see it in video games, but it's happening everywhere, right? Lately, big companies are just getting bigger. They're investing bigger, and it's unsustainable. So what happens is that they realize, oh crap, everything is falling apart. Our products suck because we've hired too many people, and not enough of them are doing things that we want them to do. And, you know, because there's so much bureaucracy, we take so much time to do things. Just look at, what is it? Google, Facebook, Amazon. Like recently they had like massive layoffs because they found most of the managers were doing nothing. Game devs being run by non-game. Functionally, that is the case, right? And that's kind of the problem because at the end of the day, a lot of people, the people who run things, they're functionally venture capitalists. And how venture capitalism works is you invest in a lot of things, hoping that one thing succeeds, and the rest of the things, if they fail, it's like, well, the one thing that succeeds, we're hoping that'll blast out all the other things that fail in the process. So there were a lot of venture capitalist type of people who saw video games and they're like, oh yeah, video games seem like a good idea. Let's just put a bunch of money in it. And then they didn't really think too hard about what that entails or how to go about doing that. They're just like, okay, here's another risk that we can take. We can put it into the pot so that, you know, just if that fails, oh well. It's kind of like that. And that's kind of true of a lot of things. And it's very interesting to see this. And especially, here's another interesting thing that's happened. So it's like, if you notice, like, when I'm talking about this, my mind is kind of running wild. It's like, it's going in all different directions because there's like a million things happening in the gaming industry that's causing this. Like, it's investors, but then it's also, what is it? The whole social justice type of thing, right? Where like a whole bunch of people, they were trying to, and this happens in every form of art, by the way. It happened in movies, it happens in TV, happened in commercials, right? You guys remember the whole era in which commercials, they stopped using pretty women to sell like shampoo or something like that? Do you guys remember that? It used to be like whenever you wanted to sell lipstick or you wanted to sell shampoo, or like I remember Dove. Like, do you guys remember like the Dove bottles? Like the Dove bottles had this like sleek shape where it's like kind of like looks like this, looks like a little hourglass shape. And then they started selling different Dove bottles in different sizes because all women are shaped differently. I have no idea if that ad campaign succeeded, but they stopped using like models to do that, right? And there was a time where, you know, they just like, you know, they completely stopped doing that. Guess what? They're back to using models again. Turns out using models sells products, right? And so, but this is true. Like, you know, a lot of people say like things like, oh, why is the whole social justice thing happening to video games? Well, the answer is it's not just happening to video games. It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere because there are, you know, a whole bunch of people who want to kind of impose what they want. And this is not just true of like the social, this is true of everything, right? They want to impose the things that they want. And so they try to, you know, convince corporations or like, you know, the producers and stuff like that. Both men and women like things that look good. It turns out, yeah. It's like there's a reason why they use, what is it, Terry Crews to advertise Old Spice and not some like overweight dude, right? If I was on Old Spice, I probably wouldn't be selling very much Old Spice. But long story short, yeah, it's like, you know, there's a subset of people who always want to take advantage of literally every single art form and try to convince people that this is the right way to do it. And then people do it and then they fail. Why? Because they realize that the people who are trying to push this idea, they're trying to push, oh, this is the right way to do it. They don't actually buy the products. Yeah, like there have been a whole bunch of games that have failed. You know, I think we always talk about modern audience, right? The modern audience. It turns out the modern audience doesn't buy their products. Arts versus activism. And personally, I think there is a reasonable way to do, I don't want to call it activism, but I want to call it like messaging. Like messaging in a reasonable and real way. Look at Metaphor, for example. Almost every single one of the Yakuza series is about like misogyny. Like every single one of the Yakuza series has like, like prostitutes being treated incredibly poorly, right? Every single one of them. In fact, Yakuza Like a Dragon, that's Yakuza 7, right? So that's the very first one with Ichiban Kasuga. That video game was literally about why prostitution should be okay. And they tackled it in a very nuanced way. And so what they did was, they did something that was really interesting, right? And, actually, I'm going to want to talk a little bit about Yakuza 7 because I was recently replaying that. But Yakuza 7, they tackled that the question of prostitution really in a really interesting way. They took a bunch of people who were very, very, very pro-prostitution, and they took a bunch of people who were very, very, very anti-prostitution, and they made them fight it out. That was the story of Yakuza 7. And then there was this protagonist who was kind of in the middle, Ichiban Kasuga, right? Prostitution essentially made him lose his entire family, but he also grew up in a whorehouse because there was no one else who would take him in. So he's both pro and anti-prostitution. So they take this guy in the middle, and they have a very pro-prostitution group, which is, you know, all the prostitution people around the neighborhood, and they took some very anti-prostitution people. That was the activism group. They were called Bleach Japan, BJ. And like these guys were like, they were both really intense, and they were constantly duking it out. And so it's like it wasn't a nuance. It wasn't like a one-dimensional thing. It was like, oh, well, we believe in women's freedom and therefore prostitution is okay. It's like, that's kind of like the argument that, you know, a one-dimensional video game that was created by activists would write, right? But this game wasn't written by activists. It really explored every single possible angle, and it never actually gives you the right answer. It's an exploration. It's not a question and answer type of thing. And so that's one of the reasons why it was such a great story, right? It was about this guy whose essentially life was destroyed by crime. Well, there were two different people whose life were destroyed by crime. There was Kasuga, and then there was another person who was revealed later, who eventually, you know, becomes one of the biggest the big bad of the game. And then, like, you know, and then Kasuga kind of is like, you know, crime and prostitution and all the like the organized crime is kind of necessary because there are a lot of things that society just doesn't do. And then there was this other dude who was all like, oh, well, no, we have to destroy all of it because it's ruining society. And then they both have problems in their argument, and then they duke it out. And then it's an incredibly good story because it tells you why both arguments fail. And that is where the activism doesn't work, because the activism, when they're writing stories, all they ever do is they tell you this is good and this is bad. When the reality is there really isn't, often with these nuanced questions, there is no good or bad. It's both, right? And Metaphor Refantasio is another really great example. Metaphor, it's talking about racism. But it's not just like, oh, racism is bad. No, it really talks about why racism even exists. And in many cases, they even attempted to justify it. Like, in many cases, they're like, yeah, these people are awful. Look at what they did. It's like, are you sure we can't be racist? It's like that, that's like a really deep understanding of how people think. And then it stops becoming politics and starts becoming an exploration of people. And that really is what politics leads up to, right? When we get really down to things, when we're talking about activism and stuff like that, politics is more of a mechanism to understand people and how to set up our society because people are imperfect. And so, long story short, yeah, art versus activism, activism will always fail. Activism will always fail because it's always a very, very, very... It's because there's no substance, long story short, right? For example, you buy a video game and the video game says, the moral of the story is, racism is bad. It's like, oh, if only I had thought of that. Wow, this really opened up my mind. Racism is bad. It's a good thing I played this game. Otherwise, I never would have figured that out. Long story short. Anyway, I'm ranting a little bit too much. Thanks for chatting with me, guys. Art is a story with a message. I would take that a step further. I would say art is an attempt to understand. It's not just a message, right? I understand what you mean by a message, but I think it's, when art really becomes art, it's not just a message, because a message is like, this is an idea, this is a thing, right? But art isn't just the message itself, it's the attempt to understand it. So for example, is racism bad? When people say, yes, racism is bad, that's a message, right? But art is like, well, why does racism even exist in the first place? Why can't we eliminate racism? If someone is racist, what do you do about it? What? It's like, can you just, what happens if a society is capable of justifying racism? It's like, they're asking questions that are really, really, really dark to answer, because the answers sometimes are dark, right? And, you know, here, another example is that nowadays with these stories, the activism stories, the bad guy is always just bad. And he's not just like, oh, he's a bad guy. He's like, cartoonishly, I'm always twirling my mustache. I will murder you all. That's the bad guy. There's nothing good about him. He's always just bad. And I suspect the reason why he's always just bad is because the activists know that if they give him something that makes him realistic or actually like truthful, or like an actual, makes him actually understandable as a villain, I think the activists are afraid that people will ignore their message, because I don't think they even trust in their own message. So they have to make it clearly, this is the good thing and this is the bad thing. Because the activists know that if you only look at their message and you ignore all other messages, that's the only way they can win. If you look at all messages at the same time, all ideas at the same time, they realize, well, my message has some flaws in it. And that's true. All messages, all ideas have flaws in them. Unfortunately, the world's just not perfect. So yeah, like in the Barbie movie. I watched the Barbie. I finally watched the Barbie movie. I liked Ken more than Barbie, to be honest. Like, the Kens just looked like they were there to have a good time. And Barbie because like Ken was actually just a normal person. Meanwhile, Barbie was trying to say, I'm right and you're wrong. And Ken was just like, this is just normal, man. Let's just be normal people. They were just out here having cookouts. I loved the Barbie movie, but for the exact opposite reason as to why they wanted me to. I better get going, guys. Thanks so much for chatting with me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. You have any quests for me? I'll see you all next time. Where's the end of... Oh, God. Did I delete... Oh, no, there it is.